Hi, thank you for clicking on this video. Please tell us about yourself. What are your interests and hobbies? My name is Joseph Anane, and I am currently a permanent teacher at Anglican Senior High School. I hold a first degree in art education and have been teaching professionally for almost 7 years now. I am very innovative, flexible, and I hold a strong classroom managerial skills. I love contributing to humanitarian services in my community. I am someone who loves to embrace positive and safe classroom environment. Outside of work, I keep myself fit and active. I love to cook and listening to music. What motivated you to become a teacher for the subject for which you are applying? Well, growing up in art class, I had challenges in drawing, but this particular teacher, Mr. Dan, who was volunteering at that time, noticed my challenges and decided to help me. He created extra time for me to practice the basics of drawing. So with time, I was able to improve. Mr. Dan was kind and an engaging person. That made me always look forward to his lesson. And this has also inspired me to become an art teacher. Tell us about your involvement in extracurricular activities that you could coach or supervise. Well, currently in my school, I am the chairman of an art club which I created. This is done to create an opportunity for students who do not offer art to have a feel and experience what art is. I'm also part of the committee members in the sports department where I help them to organize games outside and within the school, and then helping the soccer coach to also train his players. What subject have you taught and at what age level? After graduation, I volunteered for 2 years to teach in grade 4, which is art. So I was able to teach them art for 2 years, and then later on entered into the senior high school, which I've been teaching currently for almost 7 years now. How do you prepare to teach your lesson, and what do your lesson plans include? I usually prepare my lesson plan a week before the lesson. This gives me enough time to have step-by-step process of teaching. With this, I'm able to put down effective ways and strategies in order to teach effectively. I'm able to also gather materials for my lesson since it is an art class as well. My lesson plan includes the strands, sub-strands, learning activities, the learning materials as well, assessment, and then reflection. Talk about 2 teaching strategies or methods that you effectively use in your classroom. First of all, I'll use the group or collaborative learning. This helps the student to have a shared goals, and it emphasizes on teamwork, communication, and then good relationship among themselves. I also use the experiential learning, whereby students will have the chance to do it themselves in order to build their confidence. And this, I believe, empowers them to think critically and act whenever it is possible. When someone enters your classroom, describe the learning activities in which the students are engaged. When someone enters my classroom, he will see students actively engage in meaningful learning activities. Students will be placed in collaborative learning and in groups as well. Now you will see me going around assisting the groups, individual students as well, and then encouraging them to work. My classroom will be full of student works because they hold ownership of the class, and therefore they will be celebrated. You will hear conversations around my classroom about the lesson, and then students sharing what they have learned. What method do you use to evaluate your student progress? What I will use to evaluate my student progress is through quizzes, class discussion, peer reviews. This gives me the opportunity to identify the areas which needs improvement. I also use the experiential learning, whereby the students have the opportunity to work on their own and then also to share. Students will also be evaluated based on their performances, either the practical tasks, the projects, the portfolios, and then the experiment as well. If you use technology in your teaching, describe how you increase. If you use technology in your teaching, describe how you incorporate it into your teaching. Describe any experience you've had with a smart board. I've been using laptops, projectors, and widescreen in my class. I normally flash them videos, pictures, video games pertaining to the topics which I'm about to teach. Now, I understand that audiovisual play an important role in the classroom. So technology has helped me a lot to engage my student interest and understanding in interactive learning. I've never had the opportunity to use a smart board, but I believe it provides more interactive and engaging activities when it comes to learning, and I look forward to use a smart board someday. If you have students who are noisy and non-attentive, share ways you regain their attention without interrupting the lesson. But first of all, I'll use the reinforcement method, whereby I will acknowledge the students who are silent and who are attentive in class. I also use the interactive method, where I'll ask student questions to interact with them in order for them to participate in the class or the lesson. I'll also use the attention hitting method, whereby I will say attention and they'll say salute. At times when there need be, I'll also walk to the student who is not paying attention and then refocus his attention back to the lesson. Describe the most difficult problem you've had to deal with as a teacher, and how did you resolve this problem? This problem had to do with a student who was not engaged in class activities. He didn't turn in assignment or project works, and this, I became worried. So I decided to create an extra time for him and then take him on one-on-one in order for him to change, but there were no improvement. So therefore, I decided to allow him to work whatever that is within his domain in order to submit on his free will. I realized that he was able to do that, and then this gave me an opportunity to ask him what is worrying him, and he was able to open up to me. With time, I referred him to the school counselor, and by the close of the semester, he was able to submit his own portfolio, and he improved a lot in the various subject areas. Give an example to show that you are a flexible person and that you can make changes to your teaching and learning methods. I am a flexible person because I'm able to adapt my teaching methods to the needs of my students. I give space for students to have their individual creativity presented, and I believe this have built their confidence when it comes to the art class as well. The art class, I also motivate them with music when they are able to accomplish their goals and learning objectives. Thank you very much.